What is going on, Crisis Actors? It is episode 1068 of Pop Culture Crisis. My name is Brett. I am here with my guest co-host for the day, filling in, helping out, making everything flow smoothly. Introduce yourself, please.
Hi, Crisis Actors. It is Olivia. I know I told you guys I'd be back next week, but look, things happen, and I am here today, and my clip today, because I'm actually wearing one, I haven't done a clip check because I've been wearing my hair down. Mm-hmm. I have a cat clip today. If you guys want to,
you can't see it. Sorry, your hair is like in the way. You got to lift your hair up. Yeah, okay. Kind of hard to see in the shot, but
there's
I
a cat.
Tell.
There's a cat there.
What kind of cat is it?
I think it's just like a tabby cat. I don't know. It's like black and brown cat.
Okay. Well, Olivia is filling in today. Mary had something come up. She had to take the day. That's okay. We're going to get through it. I was actually thinking about turning today into like a mailbag day, but it's kind of hard to do that on such short notice. Take your questions, all that stuff. So instead, what we're going to do today, I put up a decent amount of topics that we are going to get into today. We will talk about all of them. And then, whether they go a full-length segment or not, we're just kind of play it by ear. It's a Friday. We're going to hang out, and then we'll hang out with the chat. We'll talk to you guys, and we'll see what's going on with everybody, what your plans are for the weekend, what you're going to do with your life this weekend.
What you going to do this weekend, friends?
Also, I do want to mention that we were supposed to go see Masters of the Universe tonight. We are going to see it tomorrow.
Yep.
Okay. We are going to go see it tomorrow, and then I think we will, for all people who are watching now, we will come in on Sunday and do a bonus live review of the show and chat, hang out with everybody. If anybody dares or wants to spend a weekend day with us in addition to 5 days a week when you watch PCC Live. So look for that on Sunday. I would say probably 1 p.m.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe you'll post on social media before. You see how well organized we are here with our bonus content.
It's kind of one of those things where you got to be a member to know what's happening. But yeah, I think we're going to... Maybe we'll do a little backstage on the Discord as well if we got time that day, just while we get ready. We'll see. All the bonus content.
All sorts of stuff coming out. You should go follow the Timcast Discord and check out the PCC General section there for that as well. I posted a video leading up to going live today, as well as a photo that I just posted. So it's been a lot of fun interacting over there, so you should go and check it out. So what are we going to get into today on this chill Friday episode? Well, we have some fun stuff to talk about, and we have some very serious stuff to talk about. We'll keep the serious stuff to just one specific topic today, but if we want to talk about the fun stuff, let's talk about the YouTube animated movie that is absolutely obliterating the competition at the box office. It's called The Amazing Digital Circus. It's actually episodes 8 and 9 of this YouTube animated series. It's also, I guess, been featured on Netflix. That went and surprised everybody. It was a Fathom release yesterday, and it beat everybody at the box office, which is absolutely crazy because the Thursday previews were out for both Scary Movie as well as Masters of the Universe.
Scary Movie came out?
Scary Movie came out.
So sorry, I cut you off in the middle of your sentence.
That's okay.
I didn't realize Scary Movie came out. Sorry,
yes.
I hate wearing the headphones, y'all. So here we are.
The reviews for Scary Movie are not kind. They're saying it's really bad.
Sorry.
So we're going to talk about the Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, because it is a phenomenon this weekend with its Fathom release. We are also going to talk about it does, in fact, look like He-Man in the Masters of the Universe is going to flippity-flop at the box office. It's not going to make the money that it needs to on its massive $170 million budget to justify its existence. So we will get into it. And on a more serious note, we are going to talk about this couple of influencers that have gone absolutely, I don't even know what's more than viral, but they've gone more than viral on X, and it is now kind of it's broken containment and made it into all aspects of the culture because they decided to share their story about choosing to abort their child who was said to maybe have Down syndrome.
Indeed. You guys will get my take when we talk about it if you can't.
That is the serious stuff today. We will get into that, but we're going to get into a bunch of other stuff. If you're ready to go, then are you ready to go? We can just go and do it. You ready?
Born ready.
She was born ready. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead and get started. Then let's talk about it. The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, opens strong with $6.8 million. You may be asking the question, what the heck is The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act? I asked that same question to myself because I was not familiar with this series. It's from a company called Glitch Productions, which is an Australian YouTube channel. They have a bunch of animated series on there, but it premiered in 2023. The channel has over 1 billion views and 21 million subscribers. And what we are seeing here is that the movie, The Last Act, is the episodes 8 and 9 of this digital series from this animated show. And I'm going to put this up on screen. We'll talk a little bit through this, and then I'm going to read a little bit about it, and then I'm going to show you the trailer for the Last Act, so you can kind of get an idea of what this movie is that beat out not just Scary Movie, but also Masters of the Universe. It beat out Backrooms, and it beat out Obsession at the box office on Thursday, which is a huge deal, if you ask me. So this is what it says. This is from, make sure I got it correct, from Animation Magazine. It says, The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, opens strong with $6.8 million. It's an internet culture showdown at the box office today as Glitch and Fathom's big screen release of The Amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, a presentation of the cult hit animated web series, 8th and now hour-long 9th episodes, wrapping up the show, goes up against A24's creepypasta-inspired Backrooms. Opening today on Thursday, Circus is reportedly posting $6.8 million from 2,221 theaters, enough to come in number one at the box office. So that number has been contested on multiple fronts. Deadline, which is as much as you want to call it, reputable trade in the industry, says that it made $7.8 million from the same amount of screens. Other reports list it as high as $8.3 million. Either way, it came out ahead of all of these big budget, all of these big studio releases. It says box office watchers are expecting the 3D CG theatrical event to rake in $9 to $10 million over its first 4 days, whereas Backrooms is expected to drop 55 to 60% in its second week and earn $32 to $37 million in its opening frame. If you're wondering what that means, by the way, and we'll talk about it later, $32 million on the soft end for Backrooms means that it's going to possibly it's going to leg out He-Man this weekend, and He-Man is definitely going to lose to Scary Movie, but we'll get into that later. It says, The Amazing Digital Circus was announced to much fan anticipation, with Glitch Productions and Fathom Entertainment reporting 1 month after ticket sales launched for the June 4th release had surpassed $7.5 million in pre-sale tickets, and the Fathom had even more than doubled its initial U.S. theatrical footprint in response, meaning they're putting it into more screens available. If you're wondering what The Amazing Digital Circus is, it centers around a group of humans who have become trapped in a circus-themed virtual experience where their colorful avatars struggle against an erratic AI and their own emotional damage. Created by Gooseworks in 2023, the psychological, surreal dark comedy has surpassed 1 billion views online following its 2023 debut. It went absolutely viral at that time. There's also a bunch of controversy going on with this right now because fans who are loyal to the franchise aren't actually happy that they have to wait longer to see this released on the actual YouTube channel where you can see it for free. It says the amazing Digital Circus, The Last Act, might be hitting it big at the box office for its opening weekend, though it wasn't exactly an easy road to hit the silver screen. Specifically, Glitch Productions' big series finale was at first banned in the Middle East for unspecified reasons. They're not saying what those reasons were. While the movie itself was leaked online, on top of these detrimental factors, The Last Act has received backlash from the fan community. For those who don't know, the final installment is slated to arrive for free on YouTube, so they have to wait for that, obviously, because they want to make their money at the box office for it, and we'll have to wait 2 weeks to catch the final episode outside of theaters. In response, the creator of the series released an official announcement that laid out why the decision was made to push the internet debut of the final episode back 2 weeks. The reason we're pushing it for this all is because this one event has the potential to change how the entire industry views indie animation. If it works, we get a YouTube animated series in thousands of theaters globally. It opens the door not just for us, but for many creators, many projects, and the future of original creator-led storytelling. To be blunt, getting to this point has been a massive uphill battle. Considering how well The Last Act has done in its opening night, fans are still making their way to theaters to check out the final episode despite its controversy.
So this started as a YouTuber's just kind of
it's
show.
it's a company.
It's a company.
It's a company called Glitch. It's very clear. This isn't like one guy running it.
It started as just a YouTube based thing, correct? Sorry,
Correct.
I always try to stay in the shop, but it's hard to know when I can't.
No,
see
my notes were covering you up, so
I couldn't see it. So, okay, that's interesting. I mean, like, this isn't the first time. I'm sure it won't be the last that we've seen something like this, but it is really interesting.
We're gonna watch the trailer here, so you guys can get. This is just a trailer for the last episode. You guys can get an idea of what it is.
Are you sure?
That means...
Please, just now. We have nothing. I don't know what's gonna happen.
What do we do now?
I really wanted to help. Jax?
Have you ever done something that you regret?
Is anything like this? Does this type of surrealist entertainment interest you?
No, it freaks me out. First of all,
too freaky for you?
Well, it's unsettling, but also like, I guess we don't know the.
Well, yes, this is just for the final episode, so
right,
there's a lot
so
of
it's like,
context missing.
I have no idea, so that trailer does nothing for me. It creeps me out. Every toy in that thing looked creepy, whatever those were terrifying. Like, if I saw any of them in my home, they would be squashed. Squashed. Like, they're giving, like, bug size to me, and so I would just squash them.
So it says the show began production in 2022 with its pilot episode premiering on Glitch Productions' YouTube channel on October 13th, 2023. The pilot went viral, becoming the most viewed animation pilot on the platform. One of the most viewed animation pilots on the platform. It was praised by critics for its animation, writing, voice acting, and dark themes, and it was nominated for an Annie Award. The film series entered production following the pilot's popularity. On October 4th, 2024, following the release of the third episode, the series became available on Netflix. The 8th and 9th episodes were released in theaters June 4th, 2026, in a screening of the Digital Circus. That was the stuff saying that was brought to you by...
Yeah.
Does this... Look, you like whenever we go see these movies that I'm going to see, like a He-Man, right? It's from a time before you were ever really interested in it. Does something like this, maybe not this specifically, but something more indie in scope and create, like, it seems primed for a more creative eye than most of the IP stuff that's coming out these days.
I mean, sure. Like, I'm sure there's really good kind of campy stuff. I'm looking right now. This is just the Wikipedia plot, but I'm going to give it to people so that they can understand what's going on here. James Hayes is a small-town policeman in Urana, Victoria, Australia. He is called to the local cemetery in the middle of the night, only to discover that people have risen from the dead in perfect health with no memory of their identities or past. They are determined to find out who they are and what happened to them. James struggles to keep the mysterious case hidden from his colleagues, family, and the world with the help of a local doctor. The people are all linked in some way, and the search begins for someone who knows the truth about all of them and why they've returned. That plot actually sounds really good. The execution of it is too creepy for me.
Just not up your alley.
It's just the way they all have, like, the different, like, are they not supposed to be like humans?
Universe,
like, what were those things?
Like Steven Universe meets FNAF or something like that.
What were those things? Like, they're so creepy, and so it actually sounds kind of good. It's kind of, supernatural, whatever. But it does sound interesting.
Yeah.
Like, I like a good mystery where it's kind of like, it's like the inverse of a murder mystery. It's like trying to figure out who these people are and why they're risen rather than who killed these people or something.
Yeah.
Which is really cool. But that made me really uneasy watching that entire trailer.
The thing is, me and you have had this discussion before where some people, the people who love horror movies, they want to feel uneasy. They love that feeling.
We had that discussion, today?
Yeah, well, yesterday. Like on the way home. Like the fight or flight, some people really, really like that.
No.
So this might be right up their alley.
Maybe. And that for some people, I'm sure.
You okay there? You okay there, buddy?
Yawning.
That's
Yawning
okay.
Friend. No, but it's one of those things where I just uncomfy. It was kind of like paranormal, and some people like that feeling. Oh, I'm on the edge of my seat. No, thank you. So that's just not my thing. But I think if this was done kind of like a normal show with normal humans and not creepy things whispering in your ear, it could actually be pretty good. The plot's there.
I think what we're seeing, guys, now more than anything is the fact that things like Backrooms have been successful. The fact that Obsession has been successful. Backrooms almost more so than Obsession. Obsession leans into like the pop psychology that Gen Z has been really, really interested in, but Backroom specifically leaning into the idea that came from 4chan that moved to Reddit that became its own version of creepypasta. That shows that the type of storytelling that the next generation is interested in doesn't necessarily follow along the same lines as the stuff that Hollywood is trying to make for the Gen Xers that they're trying to then distill down and make for both them and for their kids, which is kind of what's going on with He-Man. And that's what it's looking like is going to happen right now. It does look like He-Man is going to absolutely bomb at the box office this weekend. It opened to just $4.4 million in previews. If you're wondering why that's so depressing, that's because it came in 4th place behind Scary Movie, obviously the movie that we just talked about. It's just... the awareness for this movie skyrocketed, but the interest for this movie didn't go anywhere. Now they're saying it could land anywhere like under $33 million. It debuted in 3rd at the UK behind both Backrooms and Obsession. I'm going to read this here. That up on screen here. Masters of the Universe box office starts worse than other recent films that have bombed. Masters of the Universe opened its box office run with Thursday previews, and early numbers are worse than 2 recent films that have already bombed. The $170 million He-Man reboot pulled in an estimated $4 million in Thursday night previews, according to Deadline. Paramount and Miramax's Scary Movie Revival, opening the same weekend, nearly doubled this, with $7.5 million in their preview haul, landing around the Scream 7 territory for a comedy. As Masters of the Universe tracking numbers have been flagging for weeks, awareness for the movie kept climbing, while the interest never seemed to follow suit. And what I've noticed online is that people seem to be variously split on how they feel about this movie. The previews are the firm hard confirmations for soft tracking for the film. Puck News said that the opening could land $33 million, maybe even less. Industry estimates have pegged Masters of the Universe opening anywhere between $30 and $40 million, but the floor for this movie may be even lower than that. Puck News reported that the movie is underperforming overseas and goes as far as to suggest that the domestic opening weekend could come in under $33 million. Remember, this movie cost $170 million to make. That doesn't include the marketing budget. That's costs a fortune to make it. This tracks with what's been happening abroad. Masters of the Universe debuted 3rd in the UK on Wednesday, behind Backrooms and Obsession, despite He-Man having a recognizable brand for international markets. For a movie carrying a $170 million plus budget for marketing and a sub $33 million start is just looking really, really bad and raises questions about how it's going to hit roughly a $425 million break-even point for this film. And there's 2 other movies in particular that you can point to that have come out recently that give it similar tracking and are both bombing at the box office. Mortal Kombat 2. I saw it. I liked it. I thought it was a lot of fun. Opened to $5.2 million in previews, which is actually better than what Masters of the Universe did. And that movie is struggling to hit even $130 million worldwide. And we're like a month into that movie now, which means, for that movie, that's bad. That's catastrophic because the budget for that movie was like $80 million. If they came in and did $150 million for Masters of the Universe, that means that they couldn't even make their production budget back without including the studio split, because remember, they split all of that box office with the theaters. So The Mandalorian and Grogu also did $12 million in previews, and that movie's bombing too. It's sitting at just $253 million. Again, if it was to make $253 million, that is not anywhere near what it needs to make if it wants to actually make its production budget back. And it makes you wonder why we keep pandering towards these Gen X properties that just don't... It makes sense with things like Mario. Because, or even, I guess Mario's a good example, because Mario would have been popular amongst Gen Xers with, Super Nintendos or NESs. They can bring their kids to see that movie, right? So there's very, very clear marketing that says if you're going to go see a Super Mario movie, if you're going to go see Super Mario Galaxy, it's for both you and your kids. The problem is there's a dividing consensus on whether He-Man is appropriate for kids to even watch, and we'll get into that a little bit at the back end of the segment. But the Odyssey tickets just prove to you that it really isn't necessarily the IP that's doing it for you. I don't know if the average person, like how many people have read the Odyssey in America? Did you read it?
Probably a lot. I read it in high school.
So?
I mean,
I didn't
if
read
I
it.
look like, yeah, I mean, it's one of the most popular books ever.
But what we understand is that it's not likely the Odyssey name that's selling the movie. I fully believe if they were making a historical epic called the Odyssey and it was somebody not Christopher Nolan making it, that doesn't necessarily mean it's going to do super well at the box office.
Maybe. I mean, look, I think with the Odyssey, a lot of people have had to read it in high school. I had to read it in high school, and they're finally making this movie of it. And so there is going to be a lot of fanfare around it. Maybe people that are really into literature, as, you know, just generally speaking literature. I think they're going to be really excited about it. But again, I think so much of this buzz is coming from the casting choices. That's where it's getting most of its buzz,
no, because
not
this
from
is
fans of the movie.
This is the news I'm about to share with people is positive.
No, I'm
the
saying
casting
the buzz,
choices have been negative.
Yes, but the people that really like an Elliot Page or really like, first of all, there are people leftists, but granted, but how many people are going to see the outrage from the right and go see it just to make it?
None.
You don't think
No.
so? I think so.
No.
I think people are petty enough. I also think that
People
people are hate watching it. They are. It's like a train wreck. They want to see what happens.
I don't think that's what
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
It's the premium formats that are selling here. If you were just going to see it for the hell of it, to see if it's a train wreck, you're not paying the extra money to see it on IMAX or 70
It's
millimeter.
a big movie. People are going to want to see it.
I think that what it's proving is that there's a bubble on X, and the average person doesn't know about the casting.
Yes, most people want to see it because they've read the book, they know of the book, they
but
know
it's
of
not
the
because
stories.
of the casting is what I'm saying.
But the casting is what also got it, the buzz around a lot of it, I think. I think like a lot of people maybe didn't even know there was an Odyssey movie until a lot of the noise about the casting. Whether they agreed or not, there was noise about casting, and that's what brought people's attention to it.
They sold out different IMAX
I'm not
screenings
saying it's
a
because
year
people
ago.
don't like it. I'm saying that it's because people probably didn't realize it, because I didn't realize that an Odyssey movie was coming out until they announced that What's-Her-Face was going to be black, and I was like, oh, what's Helena Troy?
I think that's what this movie is exposing a little bit is the bubble that people are in, depending on where they get their news and information, because the focus then would be on that
We're having
side
two different
of the
conversations,
story.
I think, right now.
The Odyssey tickets trigger chaos at AMC, which causes them to pause sales. For the record, I do believe that sales for the Odyssey causing problems with their pre-sale ticketing app are real. I do not believe that such claims are true for what happened with Supergirl, because there's a bunch of people complaining about having to wait in hour-long times. There was one screenshot for Supergirl and almost no corroboration saying the same thing, that they were also having trouble with it. So this is what they were saying. The Odyssey's premium large format tickets are now on sale for select screenings ahead of the film's July 17th release, and Christopher Nolan wasted no time rushing IMAX and other specialty formats. For the full rundown on the cast, blah, 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 Universal is pushing the movie as a true big screen event, with tickets currently available for PLFs, including IMAX 70mm, IMAX 70mm film, 35mm film, RPX, 4DX, and other specialty presentations. The marketing is all about seeing Nolan's epic as on the largest screen possible, which lines up with the director's long-standing push for theatrical and film format viewing. But the bigger story here is the chaos for the ticket sales. AMC app pauses line for the Odyssey tickets. Demand for the Odyssey IMAX and premium screenings appears to be high enough that AMC's ticketing system briefly paused its online queue. We weren't talking about a minute after that. We were talking about the line is paused indefinitely, and then some people saying that they were in line for over an hour just to get tickets for it. It says the biggest demand for was the IMAX 70mm screenings, which are naturally limited because only select theaters can play the format. For Nolan fans, those seats have become the premium target, especially after the huge IMAX run for Oppenheimer. Again, my point being that I believe that regardless of the culture war, or Helen of Troy, or the possibility of, I almost said Billie Eilish. The possibility of Elliot Page. Billie Eilish would have been a better casting choice for Achilles.
No.
Whether it's Helen of Troy or the possibility of Elliot Page as Achilles, the fans of Christopher Nolan's work, the ones that really, really support him, would actually come out and sit in line on the AMC app to get tickets for it, whereas I don't believe that is what happened with Supergirl. At least I personally don't. It says, according to posts circulating on X, users describe the ticket drop as a bloodbath, with some saying they spent 1 to 2 hours trying to buy seats only to get hit with repeated error messages. That sounds infuriating. Others said they had better luck switching devices, trying different sites, or moving to alternate theaters such as TCL Chinese Theater. One tweet that I saw yesterday is like, I can't believe how many people on X go to AMC theaters. Me and you never go to AMC theaters.
There's not one near here. Not close enough. It's the closest is the one that we go to.
There are also complaints that scalpers and resale tickets are occurring for like over $1,000 for resale tickets. Fans are saying the tickets for the movie are starting to feel like concert ticket drops, complete with queues, bots, FOMO, and instant sellouts for the best seats. At the same time, not every theater appears to be selling out across the board. Some users pointed to local showings with plenty of seats still available, raising the usual debate over whether the demand is truly widespread or concentrated around premium locations in big cities and Nolan's preferred formats. That's what I think it is. I think that Supergirl doesn't sell out in any format. I think that Nolan does, as we said, in the big format. Whether that affects the regular ticket sales and what you were saying kind of about Helen of Troy, whether that affects the box office long term remains to be seen. But I do still think that this movie is going to make a crap ton of money at the box office.
Yes, there is a big audience for The Odyssey, generally speaking. That's what it is.
So if you're looking about how people are divided about He-Man, I grabbed a couple of these reviews so that you can kind of get an idea of where people fell down on it. Because I got asked a question. They said, do you think this movie is acceptable for kids? And I had to point out, when it comes to this, that I didn't actually know, because I got different, and I'm talking from people that are in our space politically. So people who have kids, people who are cognizant of the rot in Hollywood, for lack of a better term. And I got different messages from different people. Quarter Black Garrett said, just finished He-Man with the kids. It's made squarely for 10-year-old boys in the best possible way. They balanced camp and epicness really well. Action was well done. Some good family stuff with a positive message. Nailed the over-the-top designs in live action. I can't believe I'm saying this, but Jared Leto killed it as Skeletor. So that is one who's saying that it's completely, sounds like he's saying it's okay.
Yeah, that's kind of his... He's like, isn't he kind of the target audience for this?
Well, he said that he saw it with his family.
I know, but you said Gen Xers are going to see it with their families.
Well,
How old is Quarter Black?
The question is more, is it acceptable for kids, is what I'm saying. Like, people were asking,
he's already in this space. He already likes this kind of stuff. So he's already automatically probably going to be a bit more, either more critical or really like it. Mm-hmm. And the average person isn't as into this kind of stuff as he is.
So the other one that I saw was from the Popcast Bros, who friended the channel. Great guys. Says, so to be clear, Masters of the Universe is not a movie you want to take your kids with unless you want to explain to them what fisting is, while Skeletor is obsessed with He-Man's schlong, and why Tila called the cat that word that you can't say.
Oh.
Yes. I'm not kidding. Previews made it seem kid-friendly. For adults who want to see it, the movie struggles to find its tone between humor and seriousness, and believe it or not, it has several scenes that are slow and lag a bit. The action is good. The visuals are great. I enjoyed the soundtrack, but this movie I'll likely never watch again. Grade C. From what I read, Critical Drinker liked it as well, but I don't know if that was I don't think that was based on whether it was acceptable for children. I just think what's most interesting about this is that the fan base in this space is rightly divided about it. Tom Connors had a pretty epic, crazy barrel-chested review. He was really unhappy with this movie, but he's like a diehard fan of the franchise. I wish I felt that way about some of the stuff that's coming out these days. There's a lot of swearing in it. Otherwise, I don't want to play it because there's a bunch of swearing in it. But it was interesting to see the divide, because most of the time what people feel like is in the culture war space, people get their marching orders on what movies to like and what movies not to like. And I don't think that that's actually the truth. A lot of times people feel differently about movies based on their own personal experience. And we'll have to wait and see where it goes for a movie like this. Yeah. I have to say, has anything you've seen people talking about it made you at all interested to see it?
No, I have no interest in this movie.
You will be our control group on.
Yeah, because I have no interest in this. I don't even want to say I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be a movie. I'm going to go sit in the theater and be away from the world for a couple hours, and that's it. That's like what I'm expecting. I'm not expecting anything good or anything bad.
All right, so this was another tweet from somebody named Justin. I just took it because it seemed like the most neutral of them. It says, "Well, I did not like Masters of the Universe. I hope others do. It really leans into the goofy stuff in a way that wasn't fun. It could have done funny with a wit to it, but this wasn't that. I think I would have preferred something more epic and earnest. My buddies' kids loved it, so that's a win. I hope it does well. Maybe a second film can work, but mostly, if this works, high tides raise all ships. The score and soundtrack was epic. Wish the film matched." It's interesting that the score seems to be, I remember, I think Jeremy Johns said something similar. He said the music and the score for this movie really, really hits it out of the park, which is awesome. And it just feels like what we're seeing right now isn't people debating whether it was good on a structural level. They're kind of all admitting that it maybe isn't that great on a structural level, and your decision to like this movie or not is going to be more or less colored by your own personal experience and maybe your own bias either for or against the franchise. So, yeah. I would be interested to know if any, in fact, you know what? I'm going to put it up in the chat right now to see if anybody actually plans to go see the movie this weekend. Anyone going to see Masters of the Universe? Yes, no.
I am, but
yes,
not for the reasons you think.
All right. What would you like to see?
Cringe. Sorry, I just want to get the cringe over.
Wait, what's
with.
So bad about it?
I don't even remember what I picked. It was literally like 35 minutes ago, and I'm so tired today. I didn't even.
Okay.
I'll know the second I see it what it is.
Okay.
But I can't really remember. Oh, yeah, another one of those adult camps.
So
this one's about being joyous, and
I saw an article earlier this week about how adults are flocking to summer camp.
Yeah, it's freaking weird. This one is about being your inner child and just having fun and letting loose is what this one is.
Okay, here we go.
It's pretty bad. It's weird.
Keep it up.
And rolling around on the floor.
Ladies, like, don't do this with handsy men. Like, you don't know what's going on there. Like, is there better be some type of background check before they get in there to do this?
Let's just see how long they go for.
I have to imagine
it's so uncomfortable to watch.
The clothing is part of the deal. They're all dressed in like florals.
I just think that's who they attract. Who they attract for themselves after they're done.
Joy Jam, Vancouver, December 28th. Free tools and habits for joy makers. Do you want to overcome your social fears and be admired for lighting up everyone you meet? See, you know why they're saying that? Because they know that if they die early, that's something that people get said about them. You know, in lieu of having actual memories of a person, you say they lit up the room. Nobody's ever said that about me, ladies and gentlemen.
True.
I've never been one
to. Brett lights up my room.
Any
room I'm in. There we go. Sorry.
Become a joy maker with my free joy maker habits.
Free.
Weekly newsletter. Be a braver, brighter joy maker. Get energizing and innovative leadership techniques, just like the 2,700 joy makers who use them to uplift the planet. I don't know where you find this stuff.
Instagram's a very scary place.
It can be.
It's a very scary place.
It can be.
My algorithm is terrifying, and I would not wish it upon anybody.
This is Horrifying. Okay. They're always selling a course of some sort.
Of
All
course.
right. This is from Small Government Biggins on X for Here's the Day.
Hello.
And it's a puppy who has his own cup.
Hello, buddy. I would buy that cup.
Would you buy that cup?
I would buy that cup.
No name given, but I hope
That's
he's
okay. He's a good boy. We're a good girl. Clearly he's got... Can we look at one more?
Yeah, we're going to do one more. Look at this one.
Yes. Hello. Oh my gosh, you guys look at the little kitten.
This is from Chancellor Young. Thank you.
Hello. Oh my goodness, I just want to squeeze him.
I posted a picture on my Instagram last night of Chloe who goes to bed on the shelves that we have where we keep our clothes.
It's so cute. Look at the little
It's
kitten.
a very cute cat.
Oh my goodness, I want to pick it up and kiss it.
All right. So the thing is, we got some of the fun stuff out of the way.
Yeah.
We did the cringe. We got the cringe out of the way. Then we kind
the
of
cute,
we even
uplifting,
things back
yeah.
out by putting in
time
the
to
cue of the
just-
day. It's time to get into the really, really depressing stuff,
Yes.
if you will.
Yes. If you have not seen the story, I will be surprised. It is everywhere. YouTuber Jesse Ridgway has recently announced that he is going to be a father with his wife as they were expecting. And he took to the internet a couple days ago and posted this. Quote, "This week, my wife and I made a very difficult decision to terminate the pregnancy due to trisomy 21. That is the genetic marker for Down syndrome, for those that don't know what that is. The choice was not made lightly. We really appreciate all the personal stories that you guys shared with us, especially the unconditional support we received from fans no matter what we decided. I know some of you may be very sad to hear the news. We were devastated. This has been extremely traumatic for both of us, especially Ashley. She underwent the procedure earlier this week and is on the mend. Thankfully, everything went smoothly, but emotionally, we are drained. Trisomy 21, also known as Down syndrome, is an extra chromosome. We know what that is. When I was first confronted with this news, I was shocked but optimistic. This is the part, you guys, that I think this is where he really, outside of the original, this is where he really starts to lose people who maybe were supportive through the initial post. He says, if they were a little slow intellectually, then we'll make it work. I signed on to be a parent, come what may, but I just didn't fully understand what Down syndrome entailed. Once we made it public, it became clear that most people don't know what Down syndrome is and know it's not the same as autism. 50% of babies with Down syndrome could have heart defects, 75% hearing challenges, 50% vision problems, impaired immune dysfunction, developmental disabilities, learning disability, delayed physical development, structural issues with their face, decreased lifespan. Sadly, the list is long. Feel free to look it up. It isn't a blessing. It is objectively crappy from a health perspective. I didn't realize how rough it would be for the child, let alone the family. More often than not, they would be fully dependent on others the rest of their life. The miscarriage rate is close to 50%, which makes matters worse. They may never see the light of day, and Ashley was put further at risk. We spoke with doctors, friends, and genetic counselors and learned that 90% of women terminate their pregnancy. This was way higher than expected. I thought it would be lower given I hear so many say that they would have kept the baby. Goes on to say, you never think you'd be in this type of situation till it happens to you and things change. To all my fans who have weighed in with this topic, who have autism, Down syndrome, or other conditions, we appreciate you. You matter a lot, and we're glad you're here, unless you were their baby. I commend you and your families for having the strength and courage to push forward. As for us, we made this difficult decision that we believe in the long run will be beneficial for our family. Thankfully, we had a choice. It'll take a little time to move on, but we are excited to try again in the future and hopefully have a better outcome. Love you guys and thank you for understanding. Now, as you can imagine, this post rubbed literally everybody the wrong way in one way or another. I am staunchly pro-life, as many of you know. So this was, as I read, I was more and more disgusted with people, and specifically these people, but generally people. The more I watched, the more I felt gross, like I had to take a shower just for hearing all of this. I felt worse off for hearing all of this. Now, I want to set the record straight on a couple things about Down syndrome before we get further into this topic. First and foremost, I have worked with children that have Down syndrome, and they were my favorite students to work with. You never really knew what to expect, but somehow you always knew what to expect at the same time. It's kind of a weird way to describe it, but I worked with a student who had Down syndrome who really liked Beauty and the Beast, and he would always show me the same videos of Beauty and the Beast and this like Thomas the Tank Engine video where an elephant popped up. It's a long story, but basically he would always show me and I'd always be surprised, and he would always get really excited that I was so surprised. I loved that kid. I will not dox his name, but he was a great kid. His family adopted him and his sister, both who have Down syndrome, because they wanted to help kids that did not have families. So that being said, he received a lot of backlash from a lot of people, and we'll go over that in a minute, but I quickly want to read his response to said backlash, because if he had a shovel, he would be digging himself a much, much deeper hole. So I am going to read some of this. Let me down.
Right. Got it?
Yes. So he starts this statement by saying, I've never seen such hate and vitriol for two people grieving the loss of their unborn child and making an impossible decision. The last 24 hours have exposed a side of humanity that is deeply disturbing. Being called a murderous piece of ass compared to Hitler and receiving nonstop death threats. He continued on to say, seeing my 6-year-old dog with stage 4 kidney disease be used as a weapon, manipulating my words and intent in a tweet, or saying, we'll regret this decision forever and must repent to God, is absolute insanity. If you ever wanted to marvel at the depravity of people online, just check the replies on my latest tweet. It's a show of epic proportions. This is reflective of the current world and landscape that we are all living in.
I think what it actually indicates, maybe more than anything, is that back in the day, this just wasn't a conversation that you were having with the vast majority of people outside of those in your inner circle. And even then, like, how often were you having a pro-life versus pro-choice debate with people in your life that you know? And those are the ones that you can trust to understand, you know, to kind of give you the benefit of the doubt as a person, as opposed to strangers online who see the world vastly differently than you. And I think that we lived in, like, America, especially media-wise, lived in a generic liberal echo chamber for so long that they find it shocking that there are people that see the world differently than them.
Sure, but I also think the way that he wrote his post about his unborn child is absolutely disgusting. It's very clear that they did this not because they cared about that child whatsoever. They clearly cared their life was going to be made harder. And guess what? It's not pretty. Sometimes kids are born with defects and you don't know it till they're born. What are you going to do then if you're not ready for a kid with a birth defect?
This is a minor, like, push to left field, but it kind of connects, and I didn't think about it until just now because I was looking at it yesterday. So Anna Faris was at the premiere for Scary Movie, and she was with their son, the son she has with Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt still gets crap to this day because their son was born unhealthy. I think he had a brain hemorrhage. He's alive now. He's good, and Chris Pratt takes him to events and all this stuff. But in 2021, when his new wife had a child, he thanked God that for giving them a healthy child. And so nutties, like crazy people online, have held that against them forever, as if he was like rejecting his unhealthy son, despite the fact that you could
have a higher chance.
The gap, like the crossover between the group of people who are mad at him for that and people that are pro-choice is a complete circle. Okay, so. Yes. I know it's a little bit of an aside, but it was in the news yesterday, and it all connects back to this.
Sure, yeah, and I think that's completely different because there is a higher likelihood to have an unhealthy baby after having one that had something happen during childbirth. And so it's like, we're so happy there were no complications, we had a healthy baby. Doesn't mean you're not grateful for your other child. It just means you're relieved that this didn't happen again.
And this guy put this online. They documented the whole process.
We'll
they
get there.
They
We'll get
monetized.
there.
Yeah.
We will get there.
Go for it.
So the first response I have here is, of course, from Matt Walsh, who said this is the most evil thing I've ever read on this platform. Bone chilling. Again, I don't know why you felt the need to share this entire thread, Jesse, but you did. And so you're sitting here saying, if you don't have anything good to contribute, don't contribute it. You opened up the conversation for everybody to contribute. And of course, to balance this out, I'm bringing up Brian Krasenstein. Pause that really quick. But talking about how they aborted their, quote, fetus after discovering Down syndrome. Taking care of someone with Down syndrome is a lifelong commitment. These parents will likely grow old, possibly to their 80s, having to take care of that child. They have every right to make this decision. No, they don't. I will just say that now. In my perfect world, they have no right to make that decision. Okay, I see we have a 20, so let me quickly share this story, and then we will go to that.
Go for
20. I will not give too many details, but I have a family member who has an extreme disability who was born after there was an accident, developing normally. You've met my cousin. I will just say it's my cousin, and that's all I'll say. He is one of my favorite humans in this whole world, and my aunt and uncle were, this child was delivered after an accident, and they were, I'm not going to say forced, because of course they embrace this life and they're amazing people, but they were thrown into it with no warning. He was developing normally, and then this happened. And they are in their 60s, late 60s now, still taking care of my cousin because he cannot walk. He is wheelchair bound. He cannot feed himself. And to think that people would get rid of him, these people would have gotten rid of him. Also, not to mention that just because there's a marker on the test doesn't mean that the kid is going to have Down syndrome. A girl shared her story that they were 97% certain this child would have Down syndrome, and it didn't have Down syndrome. Her baby was born and didn't have Down syndrome. Let's go to the 20.
Okay, from Shane H. Wilder, he says, the fact that they say unborn child lets me know that they acknowledge that it was a living being that they killed. Sorry, but you shouldn't have children if you think your life isn't going to change, even with a healthy child.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, it is some of the most reprehensible things I have ever read in my life. And to know that they're basically they're making content out of it, as we have mentioned. So we're going to go to this tweet from the guy, saying, first look at the little nugget. And then it says, baby, is it Jugie, getting cozy. Now, the reports say they were 21 weeks along. That is over halfway. 20 weeks is halfway. They are over halfway. They are well into the second trimester at this point. They are bordering towards the third here. They are trending towards the third trimester. That means they are ripping a child limb from limb to get an abortion procedure done. That is what they're talking about. They are not talking about 2 weeks. They are talking about 21. That is, I mean, people are not only defending what is akin to eugenics, because you're saying, I don't want this child because it's not up to my standard, and then saying, we'll try again and hope for a better outcome. What the hell does that mean? What the hell does that mean? Like, seriously, you couldn't think you weren't going to get backlash for that, and everyone was going to be on your side. So we go to this tweet here from Bo, who says this POS is monetizing the murder of his baby and been using it for clickbait for over a month. So apparently there was a possible complication at one point. We may lose the baby. Oh, we got the amniocentesis results back. And then they show them reacting to getting this news, which is really weird. Okay. That is a very private moment. If, God forbid, when we expect one day this were to happen to us, I would not sit there and be like, let me set up the camera, honey, and let's read our results. And now there's people saying this could have been clickbait. This could have been a scam.
Absolutely.
I'm seeing that this could have all been for clout, which is way worse than it being real, in my opinion. Way worse.
The crazy thing about it is like, I think about like pro wrestling and like the idea of kayfabe, and it's gone now and everybody knows it's fake. As wrestling got to a point where everybody knows it's fake, you don't know what's fake in the real world anymore.
No, because they don't show. Because Jessica here made a really good point of being like, do they show their phone, the results, to the camera? And I was like, no, they didn't. And I was like, oh my gosh, the fact we live in a world where we have to think about that. I'm going to skip over to the Devory Darkins tweet. He says, when an internet personality decided to publicize their birth journey, the good and the bad, the reaction that follows is fair game. You put your business out there in the streets. You don't control how people respond to it. To make matters worse, you found out there was a possibility the baby had Down syndrome, a possibility, not a certainty, and they aborted. Then publicized that too. What nobody is saying is that these families are actively waiting to adopt Down syndrome babies. Waitlists exist. These children are wanted. That option publicly wasn't considered. When we as a society going to put adoption first and stop manipulating pregnant women into abortions? And yes, again, the people that the student that I took care of, his family went and sought out 2 children with Down syndrome to adopt. They are leaps and bounds better people than I could have ever imagined myself being. And I say that because they went out of their way to do that. They didn't just go out of their way to adopt. By the way, I'm pretty sure they had other kids as well that they could actually naturally have. So they really went out of their way to do this. This wasn't like a we can't even have kids situation here. So there is a lot. Like, I've gotten past the point of even like crying because I'm just so angry at this point. Like, I'm just so mad about it. And I understand. Trust me when I say I understand it's not easy. It is not easy to raise a kid. But when you make that sentence, oh, I don't know if, like, I signed up to be a parent and I didn't realize I signed up for this. Yes, you did. Yes, you absolutely did. You should have every one of those conversations before you go and make a child. You should have every conversation. Okay, we want to get pregnant. What happens if XYZ happens? What about this? What about this? We have a support system. How is that going to work for us? Financially, how can we do this? What assistance can we have? All of that should be considered. You have a multi-million-dollar house, dude. This guy that he's boasted about has $1.2 million house. I don't want to hear it that you didn't have the resources or you thought it was going to be too hard. You're an adult. You have adult responsibilities, and your responsibility is to that child. I argue from the moment of conception, but let's just we'll meet him in the middle here and say heartbeat. That baby had a heartbeat. It could feel. It had limbs. It had organs that were developing. And to say that that baby is less of a person and is not worth life because it's going to be different, it's going to require more effort on your end, and you're not willing to build up that system of support, you're not willing to build up a life for that child, you are the scum of the earth. You're the bottom of the barrel. You are an absolutely horrific person. If you think that you can build a bear with your child and be like, let's hope for a better one next time, that's not how this works. That is a human life. And you will answer for that one day in the ultimate judgment. I'm not wishing anything bad upon you. I hope you repent. I hope you beg for forgiveness, because God is a forgiving God. And thankfully for you, he is. Because people on this earth are not as forgiving. And you should count yourself lucky that that is a forgiving God who can give you that. And maybe one day you'll be reunited with that baby in heaven who hopefully has the same level of forgiveness that God does, because what you have done and the way you are behaving is so antithetical to every moral that this country has standed on. I'm sorry. Like, I want to say that there could be good people and I want to sympathize with them, but the way that they have reacted to this entire situation, you are bottom of the barrel, scum of the earth. You don't deserve to have children. You don't deserve to be able to have children the way you want them. I really hope that one day you have to face the reality that you have created for yourself. And when you do, it's going to hurt, and it's going to hurt like hell. Okay? And I hope it does. And thankfully, you can ask your God for forgiveness. And guess what? He is so forgiving. He is so loving. And I hope you find the joy of Jesus Christ and our God, because he is so forgiving. He forgives the worst of the worst if you genuinely mean it and you genuinely want to repent. I don't think these people will, unfortunately. They don't seem like the kind that will, but God works in mysterious ways. I'm willing to let him do that. But my goodness, I say this as someone who wants children. I say this as a woman who has a lot of friends with kids. I see Bree in the chat right now. She is pregnant with her 4th child, and now I'm getting emotional. And congratulations to Bree. We love Bree and her husband and her kiddos. I just, and if she were to get this news, that'd be the last thing that she would ever consider. So anyways, thank you to all the parents who do all the right things, and you find out your kid's going to have that and you're like, wow, this is going to be really tough, but we're going to do it. I love that for all of you, and I'm sorry for going off. I had to get this off my chest. We almost did it yesterday, and then we're like, but then it got bigger. He came out with another statement. So I am,
You good?
Yes, I'm good. But I'll just say, repent, go to church, talk to God. He is an all-forgiving God, and he loves you. And yes, that is what I will say. So I wish them the best in their journey of faith, but I can't.
Okay.
I can't.
All right, we're gonna cool it off here then.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. Brett let me cook, and I appreciate that.
Shane H. Wilder says, "Let Olivia cook."
Thank you. Yes, I'm so sorry. Thank you for letting me cook, Brett. I appreciate it. I had to get that out. We have a super chat here, 20 from 214 West. I saw
Side.
that, and I was like, I got to finish my rant.
Hi, Brett. Which movie would you recommend? Scary Movie or Masters of the Universe? Well, given the fact that I haven't seen either one yet, and I'm going to see Masters of the Universe tomorrow, from what I've seen, the critic scores are way higher for Masters of the Universe than the audience score. In fact, you know what? Let's go on a journey together.
Well, I was going to finish this segment out really quick before we go on a journey, just because I think this is one of the times where we said we're going to hang out with chat today that we should actually kind of respond.
Well, I
while we're hanging out with them.
Okay.
Before they move and I don't see them anymore.
Okay.
If they weren't going to move, I would just do it. But people are saying if you don't have kids, you shouldn't comment on it. Not true. Absolutely not true. That kid is an active member of society. And also, as someone who wants kids and wants to grow a family, I'm not a single woman sitting here knocking on parenthood. I'm saying that if they were going to be parents, they need to accept every single thing that is coming for them. So I just want to, push against that argument and say, yes, you can't blame God for everything. You also can't blame the devil for everything. They're not taking personal accountability. That's the problem here, is they're saying they would have made their lives harder, so they got rid of it, which is the exact argument we should be against. It is eugenics. At the end of the day, they're getting rid of people they deem to be less than them. And I would hate for them to ever have to sit in a room full of people who have Down syndrome and try to explain that to them. I really hope that that's what happens to them, because maybe that'll make them face the reality of it's tough to be a parent of any kid, especially kids with special needs, but that doesn't make them less deserving of life. I'm sorry. Continue on with what you were going to say.
Okay, so back up to his question there. He asked which one he should see this weekend. And so here's the thing. Actually, that number has changed since then. So my recommendation, if you're looking for one or the other, I would say go see Masters of the Universe, and here's why. Right now, Masters of the Universe is sitting at 67% from critics and 87% from audiences. So never mind. It was at one point like 78% from critics, but it has since dropped to 67%. But 87% from audiences is respectable. It's not the highest it could be, but it's higher up than some of the movies that have come out recently. But Scary Movie is sitting at just 28%
Okay,
from
that
critics,
might be a bad movie review for us.
and 69% from the audiences. So more of the audience, the targeted people, remember the critics don't really matter, more of the audiences that went to see Masters of the Universe seem to be happier with their choice than does anyone who chose to see Scary Movie.
But I will say, if you guys want to be in on our review that we're doing Sunday and you're already planning on going to see one of those movies this weekend, you could go to Masters of the Universe and we could do a little let's see what the audience or the chat says that's seen it as well. So if that helps you sway your answer, that's my take, is if you want to be back here on Sunday, go ahead. Go and, see it if you're planning on, don't go see it just because I said so, but go see it because you want to go see it, or you're already thinking about going to a movie, and we can all either commiserate or celebrate together in the chat on Sunday afternoon. That is my take.
All right, let's move on. Taylor Swift, ladies and gentlemen. She's absolutely unstoppable. I know how much you hate that. I know how much Olivia loves that. Look at her face right now.
I love Tay.
She's a huge fan of Taylor Swift, and
Love
she does
her.
seem to be unstoppable. She, was it last year, became a billionaire? Well, it didn't take long at all for her to cross the $2 billion wealth mark from
her.
Forbes.
Good for
and
her.
Not just that, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get into it. She's also going to shut down New York City just so she can get married. It's apparently her world, and we're just living in it. It says Forbes lists are largely a status symbol for the 1%, but as the business publication has expanded its purview and as the music business has grown legit billionaires, its lists and criteria have grown as well. I can already see people in the chat not happy.
Oh,
about this.
people are already saying they're leaving, yeah.
Pegged to its 4-year-old Iconoclast conference is an Iconoclast 50 released on Wednesday as the vague criteria recognizing leaders in finance, business, tech, media, entertainment, and philanthropy. They are changing the game in real time. These people are changing the game in real time, disrupting their industries and challenging the status quo. Look, I don't think Taylor Swift is challenging the status quo. If anything, I feel like she's asserting that the status quo must remain. She only ever does talk shows. She doesn't ever do podcasts unless it's her fiance's podcast. She's as mainstream as it gets. I don't think she's disrupting anything. But Taylor Swift, whose income bracket is now up to $2 billion, according to the publication, thanks largely to the 2023-2024 Eras Tour and her multiple recent releases, including Tortured Poets Department and Life of a Showgirl albums, as well as the re-recordings of her past work. She has changed the music industry in 2020 when she leveraged her star power to re-record most of her discography. Can't believe I got that word right on the first try while live. Home, I could get that right Usually while live, not so much. Her brief blurb reads in part, as a result, her royalties flowed straight into her pocket and she inspired fellow artists to take ownership of their music. In 2024, Taylor Swift reached billionaire status thanks to the Eras Tour, which became the highest grossing concert in history with a revenue of $2.2 billion. She used the cash to buy back her original masters for an estimated $360 million. By March of 2026, her net worth has doubled to over $2 billion, making her the richest female musician in history. And on top of that, ladies and gentlemen, while she stays winning, she's now going to make New Yorkers' lives more difficult when she gets married on July 3rd, because apparently
Allegedly.
she's going to be married in Midtown Manhattan.
Okay, there's probably a venue. Let's be clear, a venue in Midtown. Okay, we don't know for sure.
If she got married at Madison Square Garden, that would be hilarious.
Honestly, if anyone could do it. Here's the thing. People are going to get upset because they know I'm pro Taylor. But let me tell you something right now. My problem isn't about the wedding and being in Midtown Manhattan. My problem is that TMZ is like, we're finally zeroing in on their location. Just let them have their security. Their security. No. Absolutely. It absolutely is how it works.
Let them have their what? I'm sorry, say it again. I got excited.
Let them, I know you did. You were like, let them have their wedding. Yes, it's going to be a public event. And there's already going to be leaks. But now prying for said leaks, come on, just let them. Look, I know you're going to have a different opinion.
I do have a different opinion.
You have a very different opinion than me.
And it's got nothing to do with her. Like, I hold no ill will towards Taylor Swift. She's just a very, very public figure. And when you're worth $2 billion, you're not afforded that level of privacy. You're just not.
But there's already leaks. I'm saying to try to zero in on it and go out of your way to like find it is the part that maybe it's not even that I'm against it. It just gives me the ick in a way where it's like, I get it. They're not going to have that privacy or whatever, but like, you know how those fans are, and you're just making Taylor's life worse. Like, you're just making it harder for their wedding everyone deserves to have the wedding of their dreams. Okay. Everyone that has met their person and is in love deserves to have that wedding. And to take it away because of rabid fans knowing what you're doing, you know damn well what you're doing. That's where I'm like, okay, like we had security at our wedding. That was like downstairs the whole time.
I mean, that worked for the venue, yeah.
We were having security anyway.
Yeah.
Just because as micro public influence, or not even influence, public people as we are.
I thought it was just because that's the
venue. We were already going to get some anyway.
It wasn't because we were getting married. It was
because of who could be at our wedding too.
Oh, I guess.
It was, well, we weren't going to do it without security.
Yeah.
Not in Detroit, first of all. And second of all, not with possibly having people that are, and yeah, they could have their own security, but the idea is that the person doesn't even get in the venue in the first place, right? We had security, and it's smart to do that no matter how micro or macro public figure you are. You should have security at those events. Mike
in the chat says, how many chicks dumped their boyfriends because she dumped hers? It's a cult and it's creepy. 2010 Stay Tay fans were unhinged. Yeah, but that's like, you know, like her fans are responsible for their own actions. You know, like,
sure, I listened
to a whole ton of rap music growing up. I did not go and join a gang, nor did I engage in any gang violence. Just saying.
Oh, you know what? I'm gonna make a culpa really quick on a past segment. I just looked at the Discord. I was not talking about Digital Circus. I was talking about Glitch the Studio. Is the plot of that show. So that creepy thing we watched wasn't the plot that I talked about. It was a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry, mea culpa. I did not, again, that's not my realm at all. No, this guy, King Rook said, I can't believe I'm watching PCC talking about Digital Circus. My mind is blown. And when we started reading the Wikipedia article for Glitch the TV series rather than the show made by Glitch the Studio, I am sorry, mea culpa, though I might have to watch Glitch because that actually sounds interesting.
So here it says, a source with direct knowledge tells us the wedding is going down on July 3rd in the middle of Manhattan. As for the venue, there's a buzz that Taylor and Travis will be tying the knot at Madison Square Garden, but no word yet if that is indeed the real place. Reality is the bride and groom have lots of iconic options. Central Park, Rockefeller Center, Radio City Music Hall, and the New York City Public Library. The list goes on. Taylor and Travis are obviously doing all they can to keep their choice top secret because our source tells us that she's been reaching out to her guests over text with more info. She should be using like Signal or
Carrier pigeon.
A carrier pigeon would be a better choice there. Though it's unclear if formal invites were ever sent out. Taylor hopped on the phone and personally called her famous friends to save the date, but did not initially provide details on location. She'll give you like a general part of the country and say, get your private jet on standby so that you can make it to my wedding. In case, yeah. I like it. I like it.
I think like being like, well, they can't even have the wedding they want because we're just going to go and make sure that there's no privacy is just kind of stupid. That's my problem with it, is that it just seems like you're going out of your way to kind of make someone's life more difficult and cause problems.
I think they want everybody to know. Otherwise, you don't get married in Manhattan. You get married.
That's where she wants to get married. That's where Taylor Swift gets married.
But I don't know.
I'm saying the idea. Okay, you're putting like.
Does she have like a deep connection to Manhattan?
Oh yeah, she has a whole song called "Welcome to New York." She has a whole she has a place in New York. She loves New York City.
Okay.
Absolutely loves New York City. Cornelia Street was written about New York City. Plenty of songs inspired by New York City. I get what you're saying. I just think that people what am
I saying?
You're saying that they are public figures that do not get the same privacy that everyone else does. My point is it's a bit slimy, which is what TMZ is, to go out of your way to ruin that privacy for them. I'd rather it be some crazy Taylor Swift fan super sleuth doing this.
Oh, really?
Yes. Because then at least there's like the passion behind it where I'm kind of like, okay, that's creepy as hell, but I kind of respect that you like went through these lengths. Whereas it's so easy for TMZ to pick up the phone and do that and then basically dox it.
Okay.
But it's more the phraseology of like, oh, we're zeroing in. Ain't nobody asking you to do that, my guy.
Oh, I mean, I am.
I'm not. How would you have felt if, let's say, because, full disclosure, Tim did not make it to our wedding. Let's say Tim came to our wedding. Someone leaked that Tim was going to be there and suddenly there's protesters all outside.
That would have sucked, I guess.
My point being, they would have said that because of who we invite and who we work for, we wouldn't be afforded that same privacy. They would use that argument against you. Mm-hmm. And then we would have people chanting whatever outside our wedding. I would go
with the flow guide. I've been like, this sucks, but it happens.
You think I would have been happy on my wedding day?
I don't think you would have been happy, but...
You would have been like, wow, all these thousands of dollars gone. It's fine.
What do you mean gone? The
wedding still ruins the wedding day. It ruins it. Yeah. It absolutely ruins it. You think it would have ruined it? Yeah. Those windows had to be opened. It absolutely would have ruined it. What happens if cops show up? Someone gets shot. All these things that could have happened.
Tim is the public figure, not me.
But you're still a public figure in your own right, first of all. Second of all, you work for this company. You are tied directly to this company. And third, I kept it very secret. Our wedding stuff was very secret. I mean, like, so secret. And we are able to, because we're not as, big, obviously, nowhere near that. But my point is, as someone who's kind of in that public figure light, you can at least kind of sympathize with the fact that you don't always want everyone knowing your every move.
She could have, Taylor can hire like Blackwater, some private security firm.
I mean, I'm saying she can, but the fact she has like more security is the problem. My point being, like, it's not far-fetched to think that could have happened to us. There's a reason that when Tim goes out of town, we never talk about it.
So, New York City Police Department Commissioner Jessica Tisch might have let the cat out of the bag earlier this week when she mentioned a potential Taylor Swift wedding as an event that might need a big-time security presence in July. Also around 4th of July weekend, which is interesting that is happening at that time. And look, I guess like you were focusing on the TMZ of it all, but that's their job. It's their job to go after stories like this. This is what they do.
Sure, but it doesn't make it right.
I don't think it's wrong. I don't. I don't think it's wrong for them to do their job and share matters of public interest.
It's not public interest.
It is public interest.
I'm saying that Taylor Swift has every right to be able to have her dream wedding without everybody getting super, like being outside, creating a crowd. She deserves to have her day too. She's still a person getting married. I don't think that being more successful means that you don't get to have the wedding you want, is what I'm saying.
I think that the pragmatic truth of reality is that
that might be the truth of reality, but again, it's still slimy of them to go and seek this out.
Of TMZ?
Yes, absolutely.
I don't see it that way. I just don't. I like there. It's a matter of public interest for the company.
You would have had
to
had a very different opinion if something had happened at our wedding. You would have a very vastly different opinion. It's a safety concern.
If TMZ
might have to be
done
evacuated, just anyone. There could have been evacuated. I mean, there are so many things that could go wrong with the public disclosure of the location there. I'm just saying, again, it's
correlated to her level of wealth and
so
resources.
She doesn't deserve to
No. I'm saying correlated to her level of wealth and resources. She can work to make sure that it goes off without a hitch.
She can, but there was still almost terrorist bombing at one of her concerts. These things can happen when there's a known location. Is my point. People are fucking nuts.
I understand the idea that a person should feel if not entitled, like they want that wedding of their dreams. But sometimes the reality of the world we live in is that once you reach
everything's good. She should absolutely not have privacy.
Maybe it would have to be someplace not in Manhattan, not in a big city.
So she has to compromise.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I don't think that's true, but okay. We're not fighting, you guys. Stop saying we're fighting.
I just don't think that's necessarily the reality.
I just think that you would have had a different opinion is all I'm saying.
Perhaps.
If it had happened, you would, like, if something had gone wrong and there was some kind of security thing, you would have been like, you know, okay, this is bad. I can see why they would want to not.
There is no.
Also, like, they're actively trying to not put it out there. That's the other thing. If they were just putting it out there, okay, yeah, sure. They don't deserve the privacy. They're actively doing everything they can not to. Okay, chat's gonna piss me off. I can't look at it anymore.
That's okay.
Well, they're like, oh, she's ovulating. Shut the fuck up. Sorry, that was rude, but you guys are being annoying. So, again, I see your point, but I think that you're dehumanizing them a lot.
Really?
Yes, they don't deserve privacy.
I'm saying they can't rightly expect it. It's just not realistic.
I'm not saying they can expect it, but I'm saying that in this one
I'm not
instance,
saying
they might deserve it.
I'm not saying they don't deserve it. I'm saying that it's unrealistic to expect it.
They still deserve it.
Deserve, yes. Realistic to expect,
you were conflating the two.
Okay. But I just don't think that I don't think that we can actually expect them to have any privacy.
If they went out of their way to make this private, it shouldn't matter where. High profile shit happens all the time in DC that we don't know about because they hide it. And that's a very public place. Yeah. It is a city. My point being, it's just good for her. For, you know, people can be like, oh, I don't like her. She works her butt off. She is very, very successful for a reason. You don't have to like her, but she's very successful and she's very popular. And I think that in this one instance, it sucks that she's not getting at least some kind of grace or anything like that. It's a sad state of media. That they are actively trying to get a source to tell them because they have nothing better to do but stick their foot up their butt and try to ruin people's lives, because that's what TMZ tries to do.
Okay. All right.
It's more a hate for TMZ, guys.
All right.
Is what I'm coming from here.
So I'm saying, like, I would be willing to bet that she doesn't care one iota what TMZ try. I bet you she's 10 steps ahead of them.
I cannot stand TMZ.
I bet you she's 10 steps ahead of TMZ. Each other. All right. Let's do some super chats then, ladies and gentlemen. We have a couple here, and then we will hang out with everybody, and we'll see.
Also, because people keep asking, yes, I saw that James Handy was killed. James Handy was an actor, and he was stabbed to death by his girlfriend's son.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, they wanted us to talk about it. And I'm like, I don't know what else to say about that.
He was in Top Gun or something.
He was also in Castle.
He was probably a guest.
He was also in The West Wing, and he was also in NYPD Blue.
He must be old.
Who was he in The West Wing? He's 81. Who was he in The West Wing? He looks so familiar. I'm going to try to find out who he was in The West Wing.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, Happy Friday, Dasovics. USPS does not want me to have jelly beans. If you know, you know.
They're almost there, buddy. I'm pretty sure. I checked on the tracking yesterday.
Okay. All right. Shane H. Wilder says, I don't want to know about your mailbag, Brett. Or a homie. Yeah, that's true. We'll do a mailbag episode here coming up soon.
Maybe.
I like the idea.
Well, I'm saying when it's needed. Yeah. Like it's... Oh, I know who he is. Okay, I'm sorry. Continue.
Yep. All right. Weary Traveler says, Taster's Choice. None of that gourmet shit.
What does that even mean?
I still have no idea what Weary Traveler's referring to whenever he mentions Taster's Choice.
I never know.
I don't know. But I don't even know, is Taster's Choice an actual brand? Can you look that up?
I believe it is.
Can you look that up? I've never, if it is, it's not one I have. I have whatever Walmart is, which I think is great value.
It's Nescafe instant coffee. Oh, it's instant coffee. Okay.
Okay. Well, not my thing, but... All right. Shane H. Wilder says, I enjoy horror, but I'm specific in what I enjoy. I agree with Mary's take that Hereditary and most A24 horror is demonic, and I will not watch. Yeah, horror in general doesn't really interest me. Just for the most part, it's just one of those things where there was some that I watched growing up because I got a vague amount of interest out of some of it when it was slashers, and they were kind of tied into, because most of them were about teenagers or young adults that were older than me, so it felt like more of a window into a unique story about it felt like I was watching a movie that my brother could have been a part of in a way, because he was that age when those movies came out. All right. Pop Culture Junkie says, my research insider says that Masters of the Universe has the largest spread between awareness and interest that she's ever seen. That is crazy. It means everybody knows about it. Nobody gives a crap.
Yeah.
That is really sad, if I'm being completely honest. Sad. Shane H. Wilder says, I'm glad my algo is just cats, Catholic stuff, Timcast, and Daily Wire.
Yeah, well... Don't ever open anything I send because it'll screw up your algorithm if it's cringe of the day.
Yep. Corey Anderson says, I hope nothing but the worst for Jesse Ridgway.
Oh, yeah, sorry. I'm not going to say that because I'm a Christian, so I would never want to wish the worst upon somebody.
Corey Anderson says, may God never allow Jesse and his wife to be parents.
I would repent for that statement because that is... I mean, I don't want them to be parents, but also, like, just saying he shouldn't forgive them is... That's not Christian.
Okay. Go back up here. Okay. Songs of Pete Donovan says, I want that couple arrested. Sorry, not sorry.
I mean, can't arrest people for being dumb, but, yeah, I hear ya. If abortion was illegal...
Fear Me It's Bree says, imagine if they kept the baby and used their platform for Down's awareness instead of using the abortion for clout. They could have done so much good.
Yeah.
Is it possible that the whole thing is fake?
You know what? Chat, I want to know this, but this is also for you. Is it worse if it's fake? Because to me it is.
Yeah.
To me it's actually worse to pretend to do that then, I mean, actually doing it's bad too, but like, it's actually worse to try to stir up all of this controversy, and to say that's what you did. I just, yes, Bree is correct. They absolutely should have had, like if they have the child, they create awareness for it. If they above everybody had, more of a platform to do that than most people with Down syndrome kids do have. So they absolutely should have.
Oh, I was looking at this one. This is not a super chat, but it's from 333. Says, I think the lack of people buying tickets reflects the theater experience rather than the quality of the movie. It's expensive. It's expensive, and everyone knows that it's going to be out on streaming in like 2 months. Yeah, but the thing is, man, like tickets, or one, if it's a woman, I don't know. Tickets are selling for other movies. Like there are movies coming out right now like Obsession, like Backrooms, that are doing big numbers at the box office. So I don't think that that's necessarily true. Thank you. You can dance. It's okay. I think it is possible that perhaps it's indicative of what a specific generation thinks of it. So Gen Z is coming out for movies like Obsession and movies like Backrooms. Maybe they are not as bothered by the crappy theater going experience as, say, a Gen Xer or a millennial, who would be the target market demographic for Masters of the Universe. In that case, maybe that plays a role, but I think it's more just there's just a lack of interest in the franchise itself. and these other big ones that are coming out that are currently bombing at the box office.
We have a 20 that was just sent from Pat the Plumber. I saw a commercial for the Cape Fear TV show on Apple TV, and now I want to watch it. Thoughts on the show, anyone? I don't know what that is.
I haven't seen the trailer. I saw that it came out. I sped right by it. I don't have Apple TV, and as you guys know, I have Apple TV derangement syndrome.
You do.
So maybe one day I'll get Apple TV. Ian Swanson says Brett is behind the culture, bro. There is
he's been
on.
Okay. Yeah, he's been on one today.
Okay.
Is that all the chats?
No. I'm going back up here.
Okay, go through the chats. He said I should be back of house. I told him I'm going to be front of house more just for him.
Where did I leave off here? There we go. S Bud says I wasn't supposed to live past 3. Thank you very much, Mom, for not aborting me. 35 and going on strong.
Yay, we're glad you're here.
We are very glad that you are
valuable.
here.
We love that.
We are very glad that you are here. Shane H. Wilder said, let Olivia cook.
Thank you.
Yeah. Corey Anderson says, God, do not forgive the Ridgeways.
Again, that's the one I was thinking of earlier. Friend, that is not. We don't do that. We do not do that. We are not the arbiters of punishment and retribution.
Mm-hmm. All right. Corey Anderson says, I am surprised New York City's POS mayor would allow a billionaire to shut down the city. Also, her recent photo with Iger, she looked fine. F the haters.
Champagne socialist.
Who didn't look fine? Or who looked
I
fine?
think they're saying Taylor didn't look fine, and she did.
No, I think they said she did look fine.
I know. I think people are saying...
Oh, she would have been, I guess, posting with Iger because of Toy Story, maybe. Because she has the song in Toy Story, which, by the way, is catchy. I did listen to it
on the way in
I listened to
today.
it again at work today.
Yeah,
it's pretty catchy.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty catchy. All right. Pop Culture Junkie says, is Miss Swift setting up a decoy wedding at Madison Square Garden to divert the press and fans from the real one? That's what I would do. That would be a very smart thing to do.
As she should.
Yeah. That would be a very, very smart thing to do. And she has the resources to do that.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Shane H. Wilder says, I hate it when mommy and daddy fight over Tay-Tay. Well, we're just disagreeing over
We're not fighting. We never... I don't know how many times we have to tell them that, like, anything that happens here, we just forget about it and move on. Like, it does not matter.
Yeah. I mean, well, it's like you can't let these types of Well, I guess you could have a real serious discussion about the abortion topic if like, you... Because that's a fundamental view of your... Like, that's like... That kind of talks about your world.
You know what they don't get to hear? Is our awesome conversations about HOAs in the car.
Yes. Okay. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Okay.
No. Let's finish Super Chats and then we can do it if we have time.
We've got plenty of time. It's only 4:20.
Let's just finish our...
4:21. All right. Corey Anderson says, "'Twas hoping to speaketh with the Morthaginous Gretsch." I don't know what that is. I'm probably missing a pop culture reference there, and that's okay. Corey Anderson says, "I am a Christian, and I know that I am not perfect. I will always..." There it goes. "I will always pray that God punishes the wicked. If it is for the Lord to forgive, not me."
Yeah, but don't pray for their punishment. Don't pray for the suffering of others. That is not Christian. I know you're not perfect, but come on. Like, it's not Christian. Don't pretend it is, because it's not.
Yep.
So.
Songs of Pete Donovan says, "Olivia, I asked Phil this question as well. But as a Swiftie, what do you think of the Ryan Adams song by song alternative rock cover of 1989?
Never heard it. But if you send me it, I will listen to it.
Yeah. Okay. Shane H. Wilder says, "It was a joke. I know you aren't fighting."
No, it's not you. I know you're kidding, but people in the chat genuinely think that we're fighting.
Okay, so people are going to hate this, but I am...
No, go to Rumble Rants first.
You want to do the Rumble Rants first?
Yes, I'm sorry. Can you guys can you do a poll in the YouTube chat and ask about HOAs?
Well, I already put up a poll about...
Is it still there?
I'm sorry. Cookie Don says, "I have an idea for the segments where you guys review shows. Call it Bread and Olive Reviews."
I hate
She
being
would hate
called
that because she
Olive.
hates olives.
I hate olives and I hate being called olives.
does not like
I know
olives.
everyone's gonna call me Olive now, which is fine. It's
Yeah.
actually not that bad, but I hate olives. So
Anyways, so I am.
we end the poll now, so we don't forget.
Well,
I'm getting him through all the housekeeping now, so he can go off, and we don't have to
I don't
worry
even
about
need to
it.
go off on. I'm not putting a poll up about the HOAs. They can put it in the chat if they want to.
So it looks like 3/4 of the audience is like, nah.
No, I didn't think anybody was going
Yeah.
Masters of the Universe.
All right, so let me tell you guys how we got on this topic today. Wait, how did we get on this topic today?
Oh, why were we
Oh,
talking
okay.
about
So
HOAs?
I'm sorry. I got it. So I am a cat sitter. For those that don't know,
Yes.
I actively cat sit for a couple of people that I had that were clients before I started working here. I've since carried them over. And I've been watching these two adorable babies. Maybe I should put them up on the screen so people can see how cute they are.
Sure.
I will post them on X right now. But I've been watching these two very cute kitties, and that has been all week, okay? And so they live in a very nice neighborhood. There is 2 parts to our town, really 3, but 2 parts of our town. There's the old town, and there's the new development, Richie Rich part of town. They live in the new development, Richie Rich part of town. Very nice area. But every time we go through there, we both feel like we don't belong. And so we started talking about neighborhood. Dingus, did we miss yours? I'm sorry, I don't think we did. We talked about how we don't feel like we belong and how...
Oh, we did miss his. He says, I went down a weird rabbit hole about who owns Nestle after a Tom Brady commercial promoting the World Cup. I still don't understand it.
Yeah, no, it's really
What is
confusing.
it? Is it like owned by the military industrial complex or something?
It's just...
Like
Let's not
Pepsi?
even get into it. But Nestle's evil. It's the one thing that the liberals get right. So... Now oh my gosh, now that this couple, I'm sorry, this development I've just seen, this couple that talked about aborting their baby is now doing a TMZ interview.
Yeah.
Okay, I won't say anything. Okay, I'm so sorry.
I did put up a poll.
I almost said a swear.
HOAs, do you love them or are they the devil?
Vote accordingly.
It's going to be exactly 100% they're the devil.
As it should be. But yes, so I cat sit these cats, whatever. And then we started talking about how they keep up these very nice neighborhoods, and I can't remember exactly what it was, but you had mentioned something, and go ahead and give them your take on HOAs.
I'm completely okay with them because they are because it's a voluntary buy-in and you choose to be part of the community. That's the long and the short of it.
Give them more.
I don't have more.
They want
I don't even
more.
remember the rest of what I said.
You had a whole...
I was mainly just countering
You had
whatever
a
you were talking
whole
about.
argument, and now when I'm going to try to post something, he's like, "That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yep.
Give me your take. Why are they good? Give me that. Not that they're voluntary. Give me the reasons you were talking about earlier."
I don't even remember what I said. What did I say?
I'm not. You said it, not me. Go look on Grok again.
For the most part, the fact that you buy into the system and it's used to fix the roads, it's used to fix the playground equipment, it's there for the purpose of it, and I don't really care because it's not like you're being forced to. Now, if you were in an area and it suddenly became an HOA and you were forced to either buy in or move, I would have a problem with that. But in general, like the idea that this lady who's a Karen is going to come and tell you to keep your lawn at a certain level, it's like, you know what? We might need somebody to keep the neighborhood from looking like shit when somebody decides to paint. You know, if you want to live in an area where you want to paint your house pink, you can go and do that elsewhere. But as long as you are volunteering into the system, because you value the neighborhood looking a certain way, it's like the opposite of gentrification. It keeps it the way it is rather than worrying about it becoming worse than it was. I'm perfectly fine with it as long as you have the option. Yep.
I told Brett today he should have disclosed this before we got married. But okay, so chat is with me, as they should be, because they're smart. Brett doesn't have a lot of hot takes, in my opinion.
Well,
this
no,
is his worst take.
And remember, I'm all about data centers and data centers.
Data centers is just him trying to be.
I don't even know
contrarian.
I don't even know what a data center does.
He's being contrarian, and he's being contrarian. That's what he's doing. Okay, so let me give him his little bit of praise here, which is literally just that it's It's that, yes, a house should look good for a cohesive community, but that is not what HOAs do. That is the problem. The reason that HOA, so here is an example of HOA from a TV show. As you guys know, we just finished Sue Thomas, FBI. There is Miles, who lives in a nice neighborhood with an HOA. He puts up a flagpole, and they decide that is now too tall. They decide it's too tall. There was no real reason. He wants to run for the board, whatever. They end up getting, like, it's a whole plot point in the show. And it's not, first of all, no, absolutely not. Being like, okay, you can't have this because it's 3 inches too high. First of all, the American flag is never an eyesore. I don't want to hear it. Second
What if
of
they
all,
put a communist flag on it?
that's their right if it's on their property. I don't like it, but it's their property. And if I really don't like it, I can move. That's on me for not liking it, not on them for putting it at their house. Look, that's my opinion. If I want to live in a nice neighborhood, I can pay for a nicer house to go live in a nicer neighborhood. It shouldn't have to be like the HOA will start to like cut parts of your property, still make you cut your lawn, by the way. They don't do it for you. All that money you pay into it, they put it towards a playground that you may or may not use or kids may or may not use that actually doesn't get done, like doesn't actually get upkept. There's wood chips everywhere.
So, no, you're
Kids
making
still get hurt.
you're making an assumption.
No, I'm telling you,
You're-
based on neighborhoods with HOAs that I've seen, because I have been to neighborhoods that have HOAs.
I'm not arguing about whether they're efficient or not. I'm arguing what the principle of the matter is. Why people sign up for them. Why people sign up for them.
People sign up for them because they want the house in that neighborhood and they don't realize how insane these HOAs are. That's what it is.
But then they're just
so
not
imagine
reading
here's
into
this,
their
here's this,
contracts.
imagine this. So you know the hours that we're usually working. We're quite busy through most of the day. Okay? Let's say we get a house, we have an HOA, and we can't cut our lawn until Saturday. So the HOA fines us $300 because we didn't cut it by Thursday when we were not home and able to cut it by Thursday. Do you think that's okay?
No.
Okay, because that's what they're doing. That's like, in theory, what you're saying, okay. But what they're actually doing is saying, okay, you didn't cut your grass by this time. So, and you have flowers that aren't in our contract. And so you cannot, you're going to get either fined or whatever. And your solution today in the car was run for president. Me and you could never do that. We don't have the schedule for that. But then we're still the ones usually the people getting fined are the ones that either don't have the time or the ability at the moment to do that. So people are like, this isn't pop culture. I know, we're talking to you now, chat. Get over it.
It's a Friday chill day.
Friday hangout. So
it would be better if you read the manual and the requirements.
But how
before
many
you move
requirements
in.
should there be? And what rules can they make that you can't be at the meeting that they're passing and you can't be at the meeting because you're too busy working to pay for that really nice house?
Isn't the option still to just go move somewhere that isn't in an HOA? Like I guess my point isn't.
But what if
my point isn't about whether HOAs are good or bad. It's that it's still a voluntary system where you can choose not to. And if you sign on to it without reading the regs, rules, and whatever it is, and all you want is the good stuff that comes from it, like the good snow plowing, taking care of the roads better than the actual city takes care of the roads outside of your township, security that's if it's a place that has like built-in security and maintenance and stuff like that, as well as top-of-the-line stuff for kids and whatnot. Then
You've lost the love of Pat the plumber, who said you're not his hero anymore.
That's fine. That's fine. My point is,
can I be your hero? I'll be your hero, and I'll be grateful for it.
The point is that you can choose not to live there. It's still a voluntary action there. My point was not to say whether they're good or not. It's to say to read the rules and the regs.
But do you think that these women aren't people that just go out of their way to make people's lives? Right. It's not about what they're saying. Like, okay, yes, HOA, in theory, fine. In execution, the worst thing ever. Okay? Like, it's like all these people that think communism is going to be good. Because it sounds good. I don't have to do work. I don't have to, I can just sit at home and blah, blah, blah. And then it actually happens, and they're like, oh, that's not good. This is actually really bad. This is really crappy. You voluntarily kind of wanted to go into that. I'm just saying that HOAs, consistently screw over the people who already pay enough money to be in there and be at that house, they're making their people's lives worse because they have a stick up their butt and their kids grew up so they can't be on the school board anymore and they can't be part of the PTA anymore. And so now they need something else to focus their stupid energy on. Yeah, people can move out, but the point being, your HOA should work for the people that are living in that community. If they want a community pool, that's where HOA funds go. It shouldn't be, your blade of grass is too high and so you can't do that. Shut up, Karen.
Can you tell me, can you steel man the argument on why they do that?
Because they have nothing better to do. Because
no, I said steel man. I said steel man.
Okay. Let me think for a second. Talk to chat. Let me try to steel man this because I don't know if I can.
Like, what is the reason why they require your lawn to look a certain way? Why they want everything to look uniform?
They think
good for property value.
It looks good for property value. They're worried about maybe their own property value, but just make your house look good.
But well, no, because the point is how the houses look around you affect the properties.
My parents live in a community without an HOA. All the houses over there look perfectly fine. A great community to live in, a great neighborhood.
But the streets are done by the city, and when we've been there, it's been under construction constantly without getting fixed.
But the lawns look great.
Yeah, but the point is, the HOA provides money to keep those roads plowed,
how much do they?
to keep things fixed. And the point is, the city roads, you don't have that same benefit. Where I grew, if we're using anecdotal evidence, where I grew up
then it shows the predatory nature of building on these developments and then forcing people to pay more into a system that the city can just do for them.
It's not
even if it's not done in a timely
manner.
manner. Hold on.
Yeah.
And it's done in a predatory manner, and it's they're disrupting the lives of everyday people. Okay, I'm gonna read here. Sorry, we're gonna go back. We're gonna be bouncing around a little bit. But we have this from Songs of Pete Donovan. The big logistical problem with Taylor having her wedding at MSG is that it's right above Penn Station, where Amtrak and two busy commuter trails converge. That would require an insane amount of security. That's also very true. Very, very true. So
there's going to be Karens at the HOAs. I'm just saying that
they're at every single HOA. That's the problem, is that it attracts people. So look, you're saying, like, if you are somebody who
I'm sorry.
You're complaining about your kids. You're complaining about your kids' schooling, but you can't make it to school board councils because you're always working and you're always doing things.
Rephrase my point. So Man Bear Cow TV says Brett acts like taxes aren't a thing. HOAs can bungle the money just as well as politicians can. Yes, but my point was you can't opt out of the taxes in your neighborhood, but you can opt out of choosing to join the HOA. That's all I'm saying.
Yes, but it's the idea that you should live in a yes, it's a nice neighborhood. I understand that, but there's plenty of nice neighborhoods without HOAs.
Yeah.
Okay?
Mike says false. The city county does that in a public area. HOAs might cut grass in common areas and make sure your neighbor's house isn't a lump of S.
Yeah, but that's not what they're doing. You're saying what their theory is of doing and what they're actually doing is different. Yeah. They're not actually doing what they say they're gonna do.
Okay.
They're not.
Look. People are saying that I'm wrong, and that's okay.
And okay. Yeah.
Well. Yep. I got it.
Thank you. My gosh. But it is definitely one of those things where, yeah, you can't opt out of HOA as easy as you think. So, like, what happens when your whole city is just HOA and you live there for work or whatever? Okay, here we go. Here's a great example. Thank you. Okay. Pop culture junkie. I was forced to replace my entry doorknob by the HOA. The only place you can get the nickel-plated one specified by the HOA's was the HOA's President's Brothers locksmith shop. That's what we're talking about. We're not talking about the nice lawns. We're not talking about the nice lawns. We get that argument because I'm with you that, like, you want a place to look nice. That's not the problem. The problem is the people who make you get the nickel-plated HOA approved doorknob from the President's Brothers locksmith shop. And that's the only one you can get because it's the only one approved and the only people that carry it. And you still have to pay to get the doorknob. They're not even going to replace it for you. They're going to demand you do it, and then they're going to make you go somewhere that's prudent to them, and then they're going to make you pay for the really nice nickel-plated one.
So why do you think people move
when
into
no
that?
one drives past? Okay, I can understand the lawns looking nice. You drive past the lawns every day. I'm not looking at anybody's freaking doorknob, their windowsill. I don't care. I see a lawn. I'm going to read this 20 really quick before I continue to crash out here harder. Real HOA has never been tried. Comrade is what Jon Stewart said, because I made the comparison.
So why do you think people move into them then?
I think that they don't see the risk and reward, or what they see is they see it's not worth my fight. But there are people that see it as worth their fight. Does that make sense? It's abuse of power. That's what it is. And they're not the ones with the bad doorknob. But look, I am telling you right now, when we get a house one day, we are never getting an HOA. I literally will put like that. You can uncheck HOA so that, or you could say like non-HOA. I hit that every time. Non-HOA. If I'm ever looking at houses, non-HOA. Non-HOA. Shane H. Wilder said cities can already fine you for your lawn, but they're not responsible for a specific part of a neighborhood. A neighborhood is much smaller than a city. They're not responsible for a little block of a neighborhood, and they are now the president of that, so they can focus on every little part of it. Does that make sense? Like, that's what it is. So I have a lot of haters in chat today. It's awesome.
So it's basically the point they say is like snow removal in some regions, maintenance of community amenities, landscaping and lawn care for common areas, not for your
right,
lawn.
But they will still fine you for yours, not...
Yes. Trash and recycling collection, which obviously you have to pay through the city here. Street lighting and upkeep of private roads. Somebody in the chat said that they don't do the roads. I thought that was true. Maybe I'm wrong about that.
Trash, maybe trash out of the roads, and like... You know, like reporting the pothole is what they do. But it's like they don't do all that. So also, what happens when the HOA president changes and they try to re-put all these rules in? And so the HOA was fine and now it's not, but you opted into the HOA as it was, and now the HOA is changing. What about that situation?
So I guess just my point is like, yeah, HOAs can suck for some people, but there are a bunch of people saying that they are fine with it and clearly don't mind living in those areas. Why shouldn't that be allowed to
exist? The problem is that
the
HOA can change.
Okay.
But it's a lot harder to move from your house. Does that make sense? So let's say we live, so I'm just going to say Pop Culture Junkie said it was $200 effing nickel-plated doorknob. That is corrupt as hell, dude. Like, here's the thing. Okay, let's just say we buy a house. Okay, we buy a house. It has an HOA. Our HOA is lovely. They don't really enforce the, like, stupid, your blade of grass can be this tall rule. They want you to just maybe have, like, they want you to just upkeep with it, and we keep up with that. And they maybe say, hey, just so you know, your grass should be mowed soon, like it's getting a little tall. Okay, fine. Yeah, thank you for the reminder. But we're good. Okay?
Moon at Noon says if it's gated, they do everything in the area in between the gates.
Yes,
except
but we're not
for
talking
fire
about a
and
gated
police,
one.
yeah.
That's like bougie. And that's you're paying for what you get there. Okay? And we're fine with the HOA. Let's say that we're doing that. And then a new HOA president comes in, and suddenly it's Karen, and she is finding us for our grass when the old HOA didn't do that. She's finding us for, let's say we have a dog and our dog is in, you know, the back, whatever. And they're like, we don't want, you know, they see our dog poop and we're like, oh, we got to run in and get a bag. And they slap us with a thing because it's right outside our house. And we're running inside to grab a bag because we forgot one.
Yeah.
Okay. And then we're like, hold on before you read that. And then we're like, okay, we were just inside grabbing a bag. I don't care. Your dog pooped on this one little strip of thing, and you didn't pick it up right away. You didn't pick it up in the right amount of time. Excuse me? No, you're not, because I was just grabbing a bag. I'm still picking it up. We didn't pick it up in the right amount of time. That's another thing that could happen. So she's doing this now. She's making our lives harder because, you know, now we have a tree branch that's too long that the other HOA really didn't enforce or didn't care about. It wasn't a rule. She passes all these new guidelines. That's what it is. That's what HOAs are. It's not the same thing consistently because it's who's in charge. Yeah. It's like getting a new PTA president. There's
a $5 super chat here from High Voltage 75 says, I am 100% with Olivia. Kind of surprised at you, Brett, for someone that claims to hate being told what to do. You would be okay with an HOA. No, I never said that. I never said I would live there. I said that people choose to do it. Therefore,
so should they live in the pod and eat the bugs if they want to? Is your point?
If they want to.
That's degradation of society right
I guess
there.
like if they want to, they can do
also,
that.
Shane H. Wilder, HOAs can place a lien on your home. You don't really own your home at that point. Don't tell me what to do with my own house.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you know, outside of illegal activities, don't tell me what to do. So, point being, that was our HOA discussion. I knew that would eat up a bunch of time. I knew chat would be on my side as well.
Oh yeah,
I told you.
Look, my
culture.
hyperbolic argument was that I am for HOAs, but more it was just the voluntary nature of the buy-in. And if the idea here is that it's still more difficult to sell your house, yes, it's more difficult, but it's something that you can do, and then not make the mistake the second time around to move into an HOA in that area.
Okay. Pat the plumber. HOA can ban any dog breed they want, then you're effed. So if you already have a dog and then they ban it, you're screwed. You don't get grandfathered in. That's what I'm saying. It's like, it's never just like what you're saying, because what you're saying is great, but it's not that.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So,
all right. There you go.
it's not as voluntary as you think, Brett, is what someone else said. It's
Well,
like
what do you mean? Like, what do you? I'd be interested. I'm learning so much. Like, what do you mean by that? Like,
yeah, can you
explain what you mean by that?
I guess like if there's already an HOA, it's harder. It's like harder to, you know how it's harder to get back freedoms that you give up. It's harder to get out of an HOA if you're already in it. So even if like most of the community wants to not be in one, it's, you know.
Okay,
I have
Mike
so
says,
many haters today, dude. This is awesome.
Mike says, Bert, your slander of Haynes and Coke is one thing, but your love of HOAs, again, I never said that I loved HOAs, is another. Spare us this slander. Well, it's not slander. If I said I loved it, I was obviously being sarcastic and kidding. But we would never honestly live in one. Obviously,
because I'm not. Yeah, I mean, and it's also too expensive.
I wouldn't want to live in one. You want to? My point is I want other people to have the ability to do so if they want. And if it's a hell of their own making, they should have read the contract better, and they should have gotten out of it on their own.
But they're always evolving and changing. That's the problem. You're saying that they consistently stay the same, and they don't. Yeah. So, the funny thing is, we are.
Did I say that?
We're against.
Did I say they stay the same?
You're implying, well, you opt into it, but you don't opt in for everything.
Mm-hmm. Well, you opt in knowing that there can be changes of.
But how are you supposed to? Oh my gosh. Okay.
Right. You opt in knowing there can be changes of leadership and that the rules can change.
No, you are opting into what you're saying is they are opting in to the rules that they have read.
Knowing that the contract can change because it involves governance, just like it does when you move into a city.
It's not real governance. Okay. He's just going to keep being contrarian. Yes, I side with freedom every single time. I will always side with freedom, you guys. That is my thing.
See, you don't have haters. They love it. They love that you're doing that.
Mary would be with me, by the way.
Oh yeah,
wholeheartedly.
I don't necessarily know that. She thinks that Karens are necessary for society to.
Got a threat for a $500 daily fine. Got it after a threat for a $500 daily fine for not having the right freaking doorknob, Brett. Okay, and you're saying that HOAs are good?
I didn't say that. I said it's voluntary and you can.
Okay. We're gonna stop this part. I had something to say. Oh, we're against.
What was it?
We're against HOAs personally for two different reasons, which is very funny. Because I'm against them for the control that they try to have over you, but you'd be against it because that's an extra how many $100 a month that we pay.
And I don't want them telling me what to do.
Rules for thee, not for me, is what you're saying.
I'm saying that if somebody goes in and says I'm okay with giving up certain rights so that I can have good plowing and nice lights, then that's their choice to opt into.
Okay, he's not understanding what we're saying, Chad. It's fine.
Yeah,
he's not understanding what we're saying, and that's okay. That's okay. My dad agrees with you.
With me?
Yeah, he just said that. I agree with Brett. It's like people buying a car that gets bad gas mileage and then complaining about paying for gas.
There you have it.
Okay, Dad, I love you, but understand that these people are nut jobs, and I'm trying to think if we know anybody I could equate them to, and I don't know if there is, but I'm sure there's someone in our lives we could equate them to. Not great.
No, says Brett wants the world to die in the pods alone. I'll take. No, I said that is your choice to give up your sovereignty and do so. Wouldn't that make me the one for freedom? If you want to acquiesce and give in to the pods and the bugs, that's your choice to do so.
The point being that,
in fact, you're exercising control over another person if you tell them that they can't.
I think that the point is, it's that there are a lot of places where like every neighborhood makes their HOA, and then you need to move some.
Oh, we got it. Thank you, guys.
How about this? My dad might agree with you, but he also bought a house that's not in an HOA community.
Well, again, I said, and I'm saying that I don't necessarily agree with HOAs, but I think it's okay if you want to choose to live there.
Dad.
That's all I'm saying.
Dad, you're supposed to have my back. Hello? No, but we love everybody. We love my dad here. There will be no dad slander in this chat right now.
Man Bear Cow TV says Brett thinks people should be able to choose to live in an HOA. I think people should be able to live wherever the F they want and opt out.
Yes, you should be able to opt out of the HOA.
In that neighborhood?
Yes.
Okay.
1000%.
I don't know how it
works. Then you don't get a pass to use the pool. You don't get a pass to use community park. You know what I'm saying? Like you would, yes, here's our compromise, okay? You know what? You get to opt out of an HOA, but you don't get to partake in the community value it brings. Mm-hmm. That's it.
So what's the point of having the planned community?
Membership. It's like a membership. It's like a union. It's like a union. Katie's right. It's like a union. It's like having a union.
But like the thing is like
I will not say Brett's right. Someone said she won't stop and say her man is right because he's not right. I'm sorry that I'm not just gonna be like, oh yes, sweetie, you're right.
Well, we're disagreeing here. We're disagreeing.
That's what we're. Also, this would be super boring if we agreed with each other.
It would.
So
and for the most part, like I don't I don't understand how the land rights work in these cases. Again,
I guess that's another part of it, right?
Like if the land rights are owned by a cooperative or a group, then you can't. They're not going to just acquiesce land to somebody who doesn't want to live by their rules.
Yes.
Okay,
I have two haters in the chat that think I should be a good wife and shut up and agree with you.
We are allowed to disagree on this one.
They think I should shut up and get out of here.
In either ways, this is a thought exercise because we would not choose to live in an HOA anyways. I'm merely speaking about your freedom to make that choice to live there.
Should we be doing this on Fridays where Mary may not be here? Should we do like an hour of stuff and then a segment where we find some weird niche issue that we disagree about and just talk about it for like an hour? Would you guys want that? I feel like a lot of you enjoy this. Yes. Maybe. I feel like you guys would enjoy this. And also remember that we love to have these discussions and it doesn't affect anything actually because we still love each other.
We wouldn't live in an HOA anyways. We just have a philosophical disagreement on, a person's right to choose, I guess, in that respect.
Here we go. Pop Culture Junkie did a 5-part series at my Houston station on HOA abuses. Many HOA presidents best described as tin-plated dictators with delusions of godhood.
But does that mean that there aren't good ones, or is every HOA bad?
I think that they there are more bad ones, just based on stories I've heard.
So if the existence of any good ones at all means that somebody gets to opt in to a good living situation that they enjoy, should they not have the right to do that?
This all started because I watched it. Oh, can we show the cats? I'm sorry, I posted them on X.
Them?
I posted them on X like 30 minutes ago.
Yep.
They're very cute cats.
Duper Super says, how many topics realistically do you disagree on though?
I mean, look, we can probably like steelman arguments against each other if we needed to for the power, or maybe there's someone here we disagree with that we could bring on the show and hang out. Stop calling him Mr. Olivia Claire. I am Mrs. Brett Dasovic. Okay, I love you guys, but I am Mrs. Brett Dasovic every day.
Look, it's her right to be wrong about this. Your guys is too.
And
That's
he also likes Pepsi, so take that.
We got this one here from Olivia Claire. Olivia Dasovic. Important, the 2 cats I have been watching.
So the first one, this is Izzy. She's 3 years old. And she's so cute. They're both big, black, fluffy cats, and we love them. This is Izzy, and she is an angel. She's always really excited to see me. She also likes to look through. She doesn't like Brett to come in. But she also likes to look through the window at Brett, and he'll wave to her. They're very finicky. Both of these cats are very scared of people, and they finally trust me. And so they have, he won't come in because they're scared of new people. And so if we're driving together to work, he'll be outside, and he'll sit and he'll wave to them. And she enjoys it. She loves watching Brett. She's obsessed with watching him, but she doesn't want to get near him. And this is my good friend, Sam. So Sam is a very scared cat. He has never liked another person, or I guess trusted another human, and like ever. He has never trusted another human outside of his 2 owners. He has been trusting me. He usually sits under the table for most cat sitters. He has come out, he has rolled around and done his thing. And I told his owner, and she was like, this is the craziest breakthrough because he has never done this with anybody ever, like outside of me and my husband. And so Sam and I have gained trust. They are so cute. And these are the cats that started the whole thing, basically. I hope you guys enjoy these 2 cats. They are not my pride and joy, but I do love them. I do love watching them.
We got a Rumble rant here from Broody Gambit. Says, I'd go into bankruptcy going off against HOAs and Rumble rants. Mine does nothing but causes headaches. Mine charges absurd amounts and won't even let me have a mailbox, so I have to go put out of my way. So what? I don't understand the last part, though. I would be interested to know, like, was it different when you started?
Yeah.
And, like, does it look differently than it did when it first started? Otherwise, like, why would you opt into something that's obviously causing so many headaches? Or are they enforcing laws differently than they're written in the bylaws? And is it something you could take them to court for? Like, my point is, like, if you were to, if like you don't like any of this stuff at all, which I would not, I simply would not do that. But there are a lot of people that want to offload aspects of their lives onto a neighborhood like this.
Okay,
All
maybe.
I'm saying is that it's your choice to do so, and read the contracts and engage at your own risk.
Thank you. Pop culture junkie, I give away that I'm such an old boomer by my choice of words, but you guys are such a cute couple. Thank you. I do appreciate that.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Broody Gambit says, at one point in time, PepsiCo had the 3rd largest navy in the world after the collapse of the Soviet Union. They couldn't pay contracts to Pepsi, so they gave them a bunch of battleships. I remember that story. I don't remember who it was that was explaining that to me. But somebody was explaining that to me about Pepsi. Just sounds like something that would have been huge on YouTube. Like, Pepsi has the 3rd largest, like,
of all time, yeah.
Okay. And we got one here from Songs of Pete Donovan. Says, Brett and Olivia, if you do go to Newfoundland, I highly recommend driving there. The stretch through Maine, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, the car ferry ride, and then driving across St. John's is an unforgettable experience. It sounds
We're gonna need like a month
unforgettable.
off to get through all that. So Tim, if you're listening, no, but yeah, it'd be beautiful. I was looking at it the other day because I was just curious. It's like a crazy long drive, but Bree, my good friend Bree, lives in Maine, so we would be able to make stops along the way to see people, which would be great. But I was actually looking at it last night. There's a possibility we're out of town later in the year for something, which would be great. But that would mean it would negate us doing a big trip like that for another couple years. Yeah. But we're hoping to swing this trip. It wouldn't be till September, so you don't have to worry about it. But but if we do, you guys will know about that. I did get the all clear as far as work goes to do it. Yeah. So now it's a matter of if we can afford to do it, we are going to do it, because why not make that our 1-year anniversary trip and celebrate another couple getting married? We love that.
All right. Guys, before we go, I do want to remind you all to sign up for the Timcast Discord. Olivia will give you more of that information in a bit. But I've been posting more in there, in the PCC section in there, and I want to thank all of you who took the time to hang out today. It was not, because Mary had something come up, it wasn't planned to be a traditional episode, which is why it said Chat Hangout, which is why we got to have a silly discussion talking about HOAs that we will never actually end up signing up for. And I think it was actually a lot of fun. So go sign up for the Timcast Discord. Thank you guys all so much for taking the time to watch this show live. It doesn't really exist without you guys here to support us. So thank you guys so much for that. And Olivia, where can they find you?
Well, I will tell you guys that in a second, but I have been seeing chatter in the chat about community member Value and you. He's got some stuff going on. So if you hear... I just got some personal stuff going on. I'm not sure exactly what it is. But anyone that's in contact with him, please tell him we're thinking of him. His absence is noticed. I want you guys to know, as a community, we do appreciate every last one of you, and that includes Value. If you see this later, leave us a comment. If anyone's in contact with him, if there's a way we can contact him to just check in, let us know. We're always making sure that we can give you guys... I want you guys to know we appreciate you as much as you appreciate us, is what I'm saying. But other than that, you guys can find me on X at Olivia Dasovic, same with Instagram. Go to timcast.com/Discord. I am the one that runs the Discord over there. So you guys can find me there. What you guys should do is go join. $10 a month is simple. And once you get to a 3 months, you'll be able to call and talk to the show. Or you guys can... join at $25 a month to be able to call, talk to Tim. If Brett's on the panel, you can talk to him. And guess what? You get to talk to me for a second too, because I do your sound checks. And so you guys get to talk to me for a second. And if you're lucky and you ask nicely, I will show you guys Mocha on camera. So all that good stuff, but there's also a lot more going on. Moon at Noon sent us a little thing with sunglasses.
It's got the sunglasses.
Thank you. But other than that, I hope you all are doing well. Now I will actually I'll see you Sunday, so I guess it is next week, isn't it? So I will see you guys next week. Thanks for having me on another day and dealing with me. You guys are awesome, even those that don't like listening to me babble. I don't care because you're still here. So, all right, you guys, I will see you next week. Thank you so much.
Guys, if you want to follow me, I'm on Instagram and on X at Brett Dasovic on both of those platforms. PCC is live 5 days a week, Monday through Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, which is, of course, noon Pacific. Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, Pandora, and Spotify. If you would like to listen rather than just watch the show, you can rate and you can review on Apple Podcasts and on Spotify, which is a great way to help us out. Thank you guys so much for that. If you want to follow us on social media, we are on Twix at popculture_show, Facebook at Pop Culture Crisis, Instagram at Pop Culture Crisis Pod. Like the last 2 days, every time I've been doing the outro, I felt like I was about to mess up the word Pop Culture Crisis, and it's a very weird one. So with all of that being said, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned. We are hoping to do a Sunday review of Masters of the Universe. It kind of depends. Like if I feel like I have a lot to say about it, maybe we will, maybe we won't. But I'll put a post up on social media, on X, and perhaps on the PCC community tab about whether we're going to do that or not. So stay tuned for that. If so, if not, we will be back on Monday. We will see you guys then. Bye, everybody.
Bye.